Tank and Jake. They've been going at it for years, and it would have happened sooner. You know what I'm saying? But we have hiccups in life. That's what I call it, hiccups. But they lessons to learn from.
Y'all with me? And it was good for us to tell you the truth, because when I stepped back in the head Vegas, James, I haven't been there. It brought back so much memories.
Amidst his most recent legal troubles and the cancellation of his fight, Calvin Ford has separated from Gervonta Davis after decades together. He confirmed this in an interview with a well-known boxing YouTube channel and said he was done with Tank's inconsistencies. "Kenny and I are leaving the team. He's getting into so much trouble and he's not listening to us. There's no point staying when your fighter does this," Calvin Ford said.
What's going on with Tank, and are we going to see, and when are we going to see him back?
We got a little legal issue. As soon as they get through the courts, they'll set a date, and all we can do is wait. I don't get into that side, you know what I mean?
Tank is, however, yet to release a statement on this. But many boxing fans claim they saw it coming after Calvin Ford didn't take part in Tank's training camp before his fight against Lamont Roach. The idea had been to keep patching their relationship, just as Tank kept patching his boxing career after running away from his rematch with Lamont Roach. Calvin Ford explained that the decision to split first appeared when Tank announced his retirement without informing them. Back in January, Davis said he wanted to undergo therapy and mental health treatment so he could be a better father. "That's why I don't want to box anymore," Davis told Inside Boxing Live in January.
Come back and help too, you know what I mean? So it's much love to the whole Mayweather promotion, you know what I mean?
"I want to do therapy, but I feel that if I do, it would take away the fire inside me. I want everything out of me, so I never think about fighting again or even getting angry. I have 2 girls, and I want them to be much softer and be more humble."
What through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, you know, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in you can get knocked out like that, so I'd rather take the knee than, you know, but I didn't really know that you can like get disqualified for all that, or like when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell, but I don't know.
It's all about being true to yourself. You just need to be true to yourself. Now, faking it, that's when it's like when you know you don't want to do it and you continue to do it. That's something wrong. And just after this, Gervonta Davis entered training camp for a fight without Calvin Ford. And despite the team doing everything they could to cover things up, it's now clear there have been underground issues since the beginning of the year.
What's going on with Tank, and are we going to see, and when are we going to see him back?
We got a little legal issue. As soon as they get through the courts, they'll set a date, and all we can do is wait. I don't get into that side, you know what I mean? I'm just there when
This was the eventual result of silent misunderstandings that had been going on in his corner since the build-up to the Lamont Roach fight.
I know Calvin for CCO. I know Calvin, you know what I mean? I don't know.
The chaos began when Calvin Ford chose to step away from Tank and focus on his younger fighters instead. There were several reasons for that, and it's almost common knowledge among boxing fans that Tank doesn't pay his trainers well. Though Calvin Ford has denied those claims repeatedly, covering for Tank by telling fans they have a father and son relationship, which means he gets whatever he asks for and not necessarily a salary. However, Ford eventually got tired of Tank's mischief and removed himself from Tank's corner. The issue was clear. Ford wasn't happy with Tank, so he tried avoiding his training camp. And Tank wasn't ready to understand anything at that point.
Hey Tank, real talk. Will Calvin be with you on this fight?
Yeah, you Tank? Huh?
Will Calvin be with you on this fight?
I don't know. We gotta see.
What do you think about the guy yelling in the back?
There wasn't any real quarrel, but it was obvious things weren't good between them. Then the crazy drama on fight night marked the beginning of a real rift that eventually led to their split. Gervonta Davis had rejected Calvin's advice because he had ignored him in the build-up.
And he know when I go spend time with my piece, I'm going through things. You know what I'm saying? When he was there, at least I know where he was at. Because it was something that we didn't want to do. It was something that we normally do.
He simply felt Calvin Ford wasn't in a position to tell him what to do since he couldn't make the sacrifice of coming to his training camp to train him. It happened in one of the later rounds when Gervonta Davis was told to be more careful by Coach Calvin. He simply yelled, "Calvin, calm down and listen to me." This was seen as rude by many in the boxing community.
You guys calm down and listen to me.
Hey, come on now. He's trying to get it. Get that in there. There you go. There you go. That's what you do. There you go. Stay good. Stay focused. That was a good round. You got to turn up now. I want all three of these.
A fan said, "I pity that man so much. Tank is so disrespectful and rude, and he really can't do much without him." Another fan imagined himself in Gervonta Davis's shoes. "If I have someone like Calvin Ford do to me what he did to Tank, I'd be forever grateful to him and he'll never lack anything in his life." One strongly condemned Gervonta Davis's actions and described Tank as an evil person. "Tank is so wicked. I really can't be cool with someone like that. He's an ingrate despite all Calvin did for him." Then he'd come and say Calvin is his dad.
I was already paying attention to the crowd, you know what I mean? I was more so, it's something we gotta work on in the corner, for sure.
However, before their split became public, the story they told was that Coach Calvin was only taking a step back, but the training structure stayed the same. The reporter made it clear they weren't implying a breakup or a falling out between Ford and Gervonta Davis.
Question is for Coach Calvin Ford. This is Matt from Brunch Boxing.
Well,
now, we know that Tank has talked in the past about retiring, leaving the game of boxing. As someone that's had Tank since basically he was a pup and you've raised him.
They only wanted to know if the temporary separation made their bond stronger, like when family members spend time apart and then appreciate each other more when they reunite. "No, he came to see me dead, slow down, and worrying about you because boom, he knows that I spend time with my amateurs. You know me. Both of y'all know me very well. I spend time with my amateurs all the time. That's my piece," replied Coach Ford. Even though he wasn't directly training Tank, knowing where he was and that he was training gave him reassurance.
Tonight,
I like to see Tank to do what he want to do. I said at the last press conference. Y'all got to understand, them guys been doing this since they were little. This might energize them again.
Oh, yeah. In fact, he backstage right now talking about he want a rematch.
Mac, no, backstage, you want to go to these.
Hey, Tank, real talk. Will Calvin be with you on this fight? Come on, you Tank? Huh? Will Calvin be with you on this fight?
I don't know. We gotta see. What do you think about the guy yelling in the back?
He acknowledged that being away from Davis allowed them both to appreciate their bond. When he returned to the gym, Ford could tell the lightweight champion missed him, just like he missed the latter. A similar reassurance came from Barry Hunter as well.
He will always be around, you know what I mean? So, that's Pops, like I said. So he'll always be there. Without Calvin, it wouldn't be no me, you know what I mean? Because at first when I came into the...
Calvin will be there. Coach Barry will be there. Coach Boogie will be there, and Kenny will be there as well, he said in an interview. While Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis won't be in Tank's corner, he and other coaches will still be there, implying it's not a major issue. Hunter wanted to remind everyone that this isn't the first time changes happened in Tank's corner. Hunter had been involved with Tank since his amateur days and early career. He is not new to Tank's team. Like Ford, he also noted that the internet often spreads misinformation and people make assumptions without knowing the full story. He emphasized that Tank is like family.
He spoke in New York, some of that extra motivation when someone's talking in the crowd.
Like how was?
The two guys, like the bet, is all this stuff kind of added more?
I don't know, you know how people like,
Just
I
so.
don't know the people that come with the clock, I mean.
Cards, judge at the ringside. Eric Marlinsky scores about 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scores about 114 to 114, even a draw.
So fans stayed assured that it seemed like a temporary shakeup that might revert back to the old format when Gervonta Davis returns after a few months. Prime video cameras also caught Davis yelling over trainer Calvin Ford's advice in the corner between rounds, screaming, "Listen to me." This time, Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis are determined to stand against any form of women abuse by distancing themselves from Tank. This comes after his latest domestic violence case.
Gervonta Tank Davis did something awful again, and no, it wasn't scheduling another fight with Jake Paul. He beat a woman again, and once again, I'm not talking about Jake Paul. If you know Tank Davis, you know he has a lot of run-ins with the law. But this is actually a civil suit over a certain criminal case that was dropped earlier.
The lawsuit, filed on October 30th by his former girlfriend, Courtney Rell, accuses him of battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. According to the lawsuit, Rell worked as a VIP cocktail waitress at a gentleman's club called Tootsie's. On October 27th, Davis allegedly stormed into the club and attacked Rell at 4:15 a.m. She claims Davis choked, grabbed, and dragged her through the kitchen, stairwell, and back exit, and beat her in the parking garage. Rell states she had been privately dating Davis for 5 months but accused Tank of choking and beating her on multiple occasions, including threatening to kill her twice. On September 2nd, Davis allegedly threatened to kill her for not answering his calls and texts. Then on September 23rd, Davis again threatened her, texting, "I'll kill you," and accusing Rell of infidelity before physically assaulting her publicly at a restaurant called Playa Miami that same day. The lawsuit also says Davis texted Rell an hour after the October 27th incident, writing, "I'm on my way. Yoya house." Rell believes he was heading to her home to abuse her again. She claims to suffer from severe PTSD due to the abuse and lives in constant fear. The lawsuit adds she has sought medical treatment and therapy and needs assistance with daily living. According to ESPN, neither Most Valuable Promotions nor Davis's camp responded to inquiries about the fight status. It's complete silence from all parties, and déjà vu for Tank fans as the boxing world waits to see how these latest legal troubles unfold.
While everyone is innocent until proven guilty, this looks really bad for him. While all the details aren't out, we know the details from the original case, which was basically a shut case with a lot of evidence that he didn't. That, along with his prior incidents, innocent until proven guilty, but...
According to a report from Sports Illustrated's Chris Mannix, Jake Paul's team is now actively preparing to find a replacement opponent for the November 14th card. Mannix posted on X announcing the update. Legal issues with Davis have become routine, and this sharply contradicts what the WBA lightweight champion said about his mental health just days earlier. The case could bring serious consequences for Davis inside and outside the ring in the coming days and could certainly put the Paul vs. Tank event in real jeopardy. With Gervonta Davis's legal troubles putting the much-anticipated exhibition match against Jake Paul at risk, reports of a search for a new dance partner have surfaced. Davis has faced multiple domestic violence accusations, including arrests that scrapped previous bouts. Critics say Paul ignored the red flags for a big payday and a major size advantage. Shields was surprised there wasn't a backup opponent ready, unlike Paul's usual events. Claressa Shields called out Jake Paul for the reasons he seemingly gave for canceling the Gervonta Tank Davis exhibition after allegations surfaced that the lightweight fighter had once again been accused of domestic violence.
Something like 6 times, people are going to believe you did it this time. So why is this coming up again? Well, now we talk about Jake Paul. There were a lot of theories that the reason the original charges got dropped, despite it being pretty clear that he was going to get convicted, was he convinced her to stop pressing charges so that he can actually schedule this Jake Paul fight.
I take on it. Oh, Lord have mercy. the way that he wrote this is just so crazy. He said, Gervonta Davis is an actual walking human piece of garbage. Working with him is an absolute nightmare. The unprofessionalism, the bizarre requests, the showing up hours late to shoots, the numerous arrests and related accusations and lawsuits. If you support this man, you support the most vile sin a man can commit. I didn't want to give this woman a...
Paul's boxing brand, Most Valuable Promotions, issued a statement on Monday saying its Netflix event on November 14th will no longer move forward. Paul's business partner, Nikki Sabidarian, said they tried to handle the situation responsibly and will focus on Paul fighting a different opponent on Netflix at a later date in 2025. Tank will not be the opponent. This comes as court documents describe an ex-girlfriend saying Davis choked her inside a Miami strip club on October 27, among other incidents. Paul called Davis an actual walking human piece of garbage in his own statement on X.
Outside the ring, for some reason he gets in trouble. You know, I'm not sure what he's going through, or if he is going through something. Man, we wish him, you know, all the best, and hopefully he gets back on the straight line. You know, we always wish that for fighters, because this is a tough sport. You know, that gets into your.
Paul quickly distanced himself, posting a statement online. He labeled Davis an actual walking human piece of garbage and vowed not to platform a woman abuser. His company, he said, champions women. I didn't want to give this woman abuser a platform to grow his fans and to grow his bank account. My company champions women. I'm so sorry to everyone involved, mostly to the undercard fighters, to my team at MVP, and to my team who worked so hard prepping for this fight. Gervonta Davis is an actual walking human piece of garbage. Working with him is an absolute nightmare. The unprofessionalism, the bizarre requests, the showing up hours late to shoots, the numerous arrests and related accusations and lawsuits. If you support this man, you
want to grow his fans and to grow his bank account. My company champions women. I'm so sorry to everyone involved, mostly to the undercard fighters, to my team at MVP, and to my team who worked so hard prepping for this fight. Sacrificing time with loved ones and kids just for this fool to lose his unintelligent mind again. It's scary that devilish.
But Shields apparently believes Paul shouldn't act as if he was blindsided. I have a few things to say about that, Shields said on X Spaces. 1. I won't say I 100% agree with what Jake said, but what I will say is that we all knew Tank's background with domestic violence before his fight was made. Before any of his fights get made, we already know he's got some issues with this. She continued, this isn't his first, second, or even third time something like this has come out. He's been arrested for it, but he hasn't done jail time for it. We all know he struggles with this. So I don't know why he brings it up as if Jake didn't already know this about him. That's one thing I don't like.
I think Tank Davis, yeah, he has his whole career ahead of him. I don't really know if you wanted this fight. I don't really know if you wanted an exhibition. I don't think that's in Tank's nature, you know? Yeah, it would have been a great payday. Yeah, it would have been a lot of exposure, but it does nothing to Tank's legacy. And I really do think that Tank cares about his legacy.
Secondly, to say he's the most vile human being and blah blah, none of this was being said until this stuff came out. She finished, I just think this might be karma for some people. It'd just be karma, that's all. Shields' remarks add another layer of controversy around one of boxing's most explosive stars, both inside and outside the ring. She pointed out that Paul's sudden moral stance felt insincere. He promoted the fight without mentioning Davis's history until money was no longer involved. She even called it karma for Davis but questioned why Paul chose him in the first place.
That devilish men like this can rise to the top of culture and sports, including in positions of power. I hope you people moving forward look beyond his fake streetwear piece of swag and search for something deeper to be a fan of. As for me, it's on to the next one. As always, anyone, anytime, any place, Jake at Most Valuable Promotions. That was crazy.
Meanwhile, Most Valuable Promotions released an official statement. They are gathering facts and carefully reviewing the situation so that any decision will be informed and responsible. We will make a determination on next steps once we have completed our review and consulted with the appropriate parties. part of the statement read.
You have a contract with Golden Boy. It just doesn't happen that way. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you Saturday for Virgil Ortiz. But again, Ryan Garcia's next fight will be announced by me, who he's fighting, and when he's fighting next.
If Jake Paul and his team fail to secure Ryan Garcia, Anthony Joshua could be another alternative. Fans may recall Paul previously called out the former heavyweight champion earlier this year. However, the latest reports suggest Joshua is in talks for a potential matchup against Jarrell Miller in a Ghana face-off. And that's all for now. For the best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications to get updates when we drop quality content like this. Until next time, peace out.